Our song for today is Midnight Train to Georgia by the legendary Glady Knight and the Pips. The key verse is, I'd rather be in his world than live without him in mine. Let's chat. Welcome. You are listening to the Me, She, and Her podcast, a guided conversation between three friends where we discuss business, leadership, relationship, and fitness based off song lyrics. We use our experiences, testimonies, and throw in a few jokes to bring you an entertaining view of lyrics from popular songs, old and new. Come listen in on the fun. So the question, ladies, do we as women sacrifice our future or dreams to be with a man? And if so, is it because we believe in their dreams more, or is it because we just want that man in our life? What would y'all? Let's start with let's break down the question. It's a long question.
Right.
So let's break down the question. So to start the question off, do we as women sacrifice our futures and dreams to be with a man?
I think one thing, I don't think it starts off that way. But I think at some point in time, you can start sacrificing your dreams.
So when let's break it back when we first meeting someone. So if we're first meeting you, and the first question most people ask, hey, what do you plan? Well, what's your 5-10 year goals?
Right.
What's your what do you want to do in life? Always get that question.
Right.
For what reason I don't know. But so if we're first meeting them and they tell us, okay, I want to be this, I want to do this, I want to own this, I want to build this, I want to be a entrepreneur and create this type of business model, whatever. Okay, you consider that good. You
Right.
consider that, okay, well, that's a nice dream to have. That's a nice goal to have. Okay.
Yeah.
I think as you start to get to know someone, then you start to buy in to that dream and goal.
That's true. Well, also the other side of that is when you first start sharing stuff in the beginning, you also have your dreams and goals that you share. Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes when the dreams and the goals that over time as you guys start dating or whatever kind of intersect, like if it's something that he started off with, for example, like my fiance, like he was big into real estate. Like he had, he's all about, getting property, renting it out, creating income for it. Well, that wasn't my first thought. Mm-hmm. That's not my first, thing mm-hmm. about how to make money. Mm-hmm. But as he started to talk about it more and share, his ideas and concepts and the things that the future he wanted to build, I started to buy into it and say, yeah, that makes sense. Actually, yeah, that does. I see where you're going with that. Mm-hmm. And so, I started to buy into it more over a period of time, even though it wasn't my initial,
right,
idea.
So real estate wasn't your initial thing per se.
Right.
But because of the connection you created with him, because you wanted to, what led you to now real estate is a thing for us?
I think one, because of the passion that he showed in, and it was a consistent dream of his. Okay. So the consistency is like, this is very important for him. So if I want to create a connection or something that we can, move forward together on, I think we find in relationships, you have to find the common ground. And I think that will end up being a common ground that I could buy into. And yeah, we have discussions, and yeah, he has some ideas, or he'll shoot out ideas, and I'm the question person. I ask 17 million questions. Mm-hmm. He get tired of my questions, and it's not questioning him, mm-hmm. but there's things that go through my mind because it's not something it wasn't my idea.
Right.
So I'm thinking about all these things. Are like, well, what about this? What about that? And he looking at me like, you asking a lot of questions.
Right.
But the idea behind it is I want to understand, get my head around what the concepts are or what he has in mind, mm-hmm. so that we stay on the same page.
So at any time do we feel like that we sacrifice
our time and our dreams and our goals. So let's say, okay, let's give a scenario, a hypothetical scenario. Okay, so if real estate became a dominant factor, would you give up one of your dreams or goal to pursue real estate?
I think at this point in time, yeah, I see myself probably that will happen to some degree. I would probably lessen. I mean, I ain't trying to work all day. So if it's something that's going to become profitable and it's going to take care and do all the stuff, then yeah, why do I need to go to work every day?
Yeah.
Right. Don't you think it's also because in your instance, because we are speaking about personal experience at this point, that he was already involved in it, he already had some success. I mean, he had property, had rental income,
right?
So it wasn't like this far-fetched thought, abstract idea he had already put work into it, right, and had already started seeing some benefit, some success,
right?
So that makes it, I think, a little bit easier too.
Yeah,
that's true.
It would be different if it's like, in my case, my last boyfriend I dated, which we'll talk about many over this podcast. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it my Beyonce voice. He didn't have. It was every other week. It was a different business idea.
Right.
And that's what's scary. It's like, okay, I am an entrepreneur. I am ambitious, and I'm all about people finding something that they are passionate about and want to pursue.
Right.
But when you can't narrow it down.
Yeah.
But it's a new one every week.
Right.
Okay, maybe every month. But it was frequent.
Right.
It was frequent.
But did you execute the one you just planned?
No,
right.
You never put any effort or execution to nothing.
Right.
So so that leads to this. So in the song, she says, basically, he didn't make it in the acting industry.
Right.
He didn't fulfill his dreams or goals of what he thought life would be.
She said, "Superstar didn't get far."
Okay. So he tried to be a superstar, but he didn't get far in that. So he now is leaving there to go back home to, I would say, settle for an easier life, for a more common life. And she is willing to drop everything that she has going on there to go back on the midnight train to Georgia with him.
See, I think that's the part where we end up sometimes getting in trouble.
Yeah.
Because, yes, we will be willing to move for the right person. I do get that, but but at the same time,
is this thing on? Yes.
Right.
Testing.
Right.
Of course.
But at the same time, like you said, are we moving forward or are we moving backwards?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And yes, sometimes you do need to take a step back. And yes, sometimes you do need to take, to reevaluate. But at the same time, that's where I think where our goals and dreams, we can't drop them completely. Because in those times where he may not be able to put everything forward or it didn't work out, that we'll still have something. And so we're not just lost in this abyss waiting for him to get it straight. Mm-hmm. But that's when you think you have the right partner. He'll, while he's in that gray area, if he's the right one, he will help push your stuff forward. Absolutely. So that's why I said we shouldn't lose our dreams and goals. Both of them should be working hand in hand. We should both be supporting each other.
That's something you should be discussing all the way through.
Absolutely.
So all these abstract, all these random questions. What's your favorite color? What you like to eat? Nobody care about that.
Nope.
Listen, what's your goal? What you trying to accomplish? Yep. How can I be? How can I be of assistance? How can you assist me? How can we combine? Like it is. If people always see guys talking about they're looking for somebody want to build with. I want to build with. Build what? What are you trying to build? I want to know exactly what you're trying to build, so that I can see if it even lines up with what I want to be. And I think Steve Harvey said that in one of his books. I don't know if it's that like a man's one of those books when he talked about you need to be asking these questions from the beginning, finding out, because if they 5 and 10 year goals don't align with yours, he was like enjoy the date and get up and leave. Like, and he was like, some of y'all not willing to do that, but that's how you end up wasting more time, because from the first couple of conversations, and we all have made mistakes, so I'm not. Believe me, I've made my share. We're not saying that.
No,
but I'm responsible enough to say, part of that was my fault, and I already knew. Like somebody asked me the other day, like if you already knew your ex was like this, and why did you date him for a year and a half? I didn't have an answer. I'm like, you're right.
Right.
You're right. Like I knew. Like I knew from jump it wasn't gonna end up in nothing else serious.
Right.
But is it because at the time you wanted somebody?
Yeah, because I hadn't been with anybody.
Yeah.
You ain't been with nobody
So,
for 7 years.
because-
Like, yeah.
But so everybody's looking for somebody that adds value
Yeah.
to
Right.
But then when you start seeing it draining, his thing was you knew he was draining you before the year and a half.
it.
Right.
Right.
He wouldn't add nothing.
Right.
So you knew that for a couple months.
But I think we all fall in that. I'll say what that. Okay, so women, we're dealing with women. Women, when we have been single for so long,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
when we have been not lonely, because lonely means a whole nother different thing, but have been alone for so many times, having a body,
A warm body.
a warm body,
A warm, strong body.
with special gear
With special gear that's important, that gear is important.
and assets
Assets.
that are useful to us,
Warm body.
you tend to settle
And make
or put up with
Right.
what you normally
That right there.
would not put up with,
Right.
but because you have been without for so long, that entertaining him for just a little while seems okay, but then that little while turns into longer because now you're attached.
Exactly.
So I think for us as women, me being a single woman,
Yeah.
a single mother, not being with someone for such a long time. Well, let's just go over let's take out the aspect of the element that I have a child to. When it comes to dating, there's a child factor in there.
Right. Right.
So let's remove that because that's a whole nother conversation, a whole nother
Whole nother topic.
So let's take that out. But as a single woman who have been single for a little minute now, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We count the clocks. It's still, you know what I'm saying? The stopwatch still ticking.
Yeah.
Who have been single for a while, having someone show you attention, having someone take you out on a date, someone who spend time with you, someone who calls you frequently, someone like all those little things, having a conversation with a male. Because you know you get wrapped up in your female conversations, but you don't have a lot of male conversations, and those conversations are totally different.
Exactly.
Totally different than your female conversations. So having that, you kind of put up with some things.
Right. Yeah.
Some things that, you know, don't really align with your future dreams, goals, and aspirations. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And you tend to ignore the red flags.
You do.
You kind of say, "Oh yeah, they're the yellow flag. Oh, it's just we'll just see how. Well, I'll just watch that,
Yeah.
or I'll see how it goes."
Yeah.
And over time, you kind of forget. Like, no, you saw that red flag that first week you dated him.
Right.
He said this that
Right.
first week you
He
dated
said
him.
it.
He gave me 17 million ideas that first couple times, and I'm like, which one? What are we doing today? So,
Right.
you know, I think that's the part that a lot of, like Mike Todd, does relationship, books and stuff like that. One of the things he talks about is you having something for yourself and you building up yourself and having something that you're working on, you're working towards your goal.
Agreed.
Eric Thomas talks about the same thing. You working on you, investing in yourself so that, if something, the relationship doesn't move forward, you always still have whatever you're working on. But like you said, it's a natural human tendency to want and crave companionship, especially from the opposite sex, or in some people's case, same sex.
Right.
We ain't gonna
Whatever
go
your
there.
flavor.
But whatever it is, some people companionship is a natural human thing, and when you haven't had that from the sex that you're attracted to, of course you want to you're going to try to crave, you crave it, and as soon as it starts coming, you crave more and more and more, and you got to wake yourself up and like, listen, do I just want that,
Right.
or do I actually really want somebody that I want to spend my time and effort in life with? And you got to figure out. Hopefully, you figure it out before it takes too long. Some people stay in that phase for years. Some people marry somebody in that phase and then realize 15 years later.
Come on.
I didn't marry the wrong person.
Married the wrong.
reasons,
Come on.
which is always the fear.
Oh wait. Oh.
That is your girl's greatest fear.
Right.
When you have been single so long, you are very cautious not to marry the wrong one.
Absolutely.
Right.
Because you have waited so long.
Yes.
Yep.
So long.
So long.
So long.
Ooh, yeah.
So long. So long. So long. You have
Right.
waited so long. You do not want to get it wrong.
No,
Right.
you don't.
That's it.
Because there ain't really no do-over.
It's no do-overs.
You already took this long.
Come on.
Right.
Come on.
I didn't sacrifice this long for what?
Right.
Come on.
Which is brings me to another point. We'll talk about that later. But you sacrifice so long that you want to make sure everything is right too.
Right.
And you overthink it.
And you do. Oh,
You overanalyze.
do you? Oh,
And you nitpick a man who's a good man who meets certain qualifications that you need. I think I can't remember who said it, but someone said that, you know, your mate is not what you want, but sometimes what you need.
Right.
And so because you've been single so long, you nitpick all of his tendencies, all of his shortcomings that don't even make it matter. Who cares he chews on the left side?
Right.
Nobody care.
Right.
But women will nitpick that
They will.
and be like, nah, he chew like this. Nah, his left toe crack. You know what I'm saying? Like, that don't matter.
Things
Right.
that don't matter.
Things that don't matter. And so but because you've been single so long that you done put in your head that it's this perfect who has everything, but nobody is Jesus.
Right. And then also getting back to, you know, a guy's dreams or future, one of the main things we need to understand, like I said, even if it isn't ours or what we thought or all the time, is he thinking about having a future?
Mm-hmm.
Is he actively working towards something?
That's good.
Actively.
That's important.
Yes, that's
Because
important.
like I said, I think that's that ambition. We can work with whatever. We can come to a common goal or figure out what line we want to end up on.
Right.
What train we want to end up on. We can figure that out long as we are both willing to move forward and grow together.
Right.
And so I think that's why I say, yes, do we sometimes give up? I think we do give up our dreams sometimes. But I don't think it has to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
I think his dreams and goals and our dreams and goals, like I said, we should, at some point in time, if it's the right person, they should marry. In quotes, marry together, and they should merge into a point where we're on the same train, moving in the same direction. And I may be in one car doing one thing, and you may be in another car doing another thing, but they're connected together, and we're driving along the same path.
Eventually, we are on the same road, headed to the same destination.
Right.
That's
Like I
ultimately
said,
life.
like I said, my fiance, he's in real estate and want to make money that way. But I have other entrepreneurial things that we're working on, and those things are tying into under that same, like the umbrella or whatever. They're just different facets of a similar goal, but it's the same thing. So that's why I said I could get on board with what he did, the ideas he had. Like I said, we had to talk through some stuff. Obviously, that's the communication is the number one thing of everything. Work through some, all right, I don't know about that idea, or explain that idea a little bit more because I'm not getting it.
Right.
I need details. He said it the other day. He was asking me, so you ask a lot of questions about that. I'm like, well, I need details. So he said, so what I need to do before I bring an idea to you is probably just have more details. So when you ask the questions, I got answers for it. I said, yeah, that sounds good to me.
Sounds perfect.
It sounds great. Because I'm going to ask questions. I ask questions about everything, not just a questioning person. Like, ask questions about stuff I don't need to be asked questions about. And there's something I don't need to ask questions about. And that's something that I had to learn also, that I have to limit sometimes the questions that I ask because it can sound like he said it, or it could be taken as negative.
Yeah.
So also it's a conscious thing. Like I had to consciously, and that's one of the things shifting from being a single person to being with somebody. You have to consciously think about how you're saying stuff to somebody, the tone you're saying it in, and how's this going to come off to them? Because I'm thinking they're just regular questions. I'm trying to get understanding, and he may take it as, oh, you're being negative. No, I'm not being negative.
And that communication is key because it's nonverbal. It's all communication, and how you say something that comes across, the tone in what you say, the pitch, all that stuff matters. You don't realize You honestly don't realize how much it matters when you're talking to your girlfriends. Cause
right.
When you talking to the opposite sex, you like, oh, I said something, and you said, oh, is that how you get your point across? That's what I said the other day, and I was like, well, no, I mean, I didn't know my voice even elevated. I didn't know it actually changed pitch enough for him where he felt taken aback a little bit, like, oh, this how you communicate?
Right.
No, I mean, what you mean?
Right.
Now I'm trying to.
Right.
But you don't realize it because it's these conversations I have with y'all, my friends. We decide with each other at this level all the time.
Right.
So we don't know what level it is.
Right. But that also comes with
they
us.
do hear it different.
And it also comes with us knowing each other a longer period of time. So I know when you say something a certain way, I know not to take offense to that because I know you're not even thinking about that.
At all.
You done forgot what you said a minute ago half the time. So,
when
you know.
Say it back times I said that.
Right. And then so I can't take offense to the fact that you forgot. Like, because I know you. That's just how something
works. And that's
works.
what you tell people, like, trying to tip the can. Like, I'm not trying to come across like it's just one of those things. But yeah, it can sound like questioning. But when you present more facts and more information, then yeah, the questions are limited.
Right.
So let me take the conversation this way. So
Oh.
in the verse, it says, "I'd rather be in his world than live without him in mine." So let's think about this. Is loving someone so deeply that you would be willing to give up your world just to be in his?
If the price is right, I just might. And the price has to be right. It has to be
That's it right there.
That's the only way. There's a lot of zeros where I don't even have to think about that, or that eventually I can still do what I want to do.
Right.
But you got to take away some things from me. You got to take some stuff off my plate.
Yeah.
So you better be finding, and I'm not talking about 1,000 there, 100,000 there. You got to be pushing billions. You working towards it.
Right.
Yeah, 1 million. That ain't enough to take me out my world. I can spend that tonight.
Right.
I need to know more is coming in.
Right.
And I think it all again.
But I think love can do that.
Oh yeah.
Love can draw you.
Absolutely.
Love can draw you in to the point where you're willing to move states. You're willing to switch jobs. You're willing to, in some people's cases, not mine, distance yourself from family.
Yes.
You're willing to, in some people's cases, not mine, distance yourself from friends.
Yep.
Because some people didn't cut off whole friends for this person.
Right.
I've heard that.
Right. All for love. So loving someone that deeply that even though I have all these things going on in my world, even though I'm pretty much, she didn't say it, but I think she was cool with her world.
Right.
She was cool with how her life was going.
Right.
Like things were going good for her. But things weren't working out too well for him and what his aspirations and what he was trying to accomplish didn't work out. But because of her love for him, because of her love to want to be with him, she was willing to give up all the things going good or all the things operating well. I won't say going good because maybe he was the good thing in her world. So everything operating well in her world for this man, for this love. And I'm assuming, now you know what they say about assume.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Make an A out of you and me. You know what I'm saying? A-S-S. That's how you spell it. A-S-S-U-M-E. But I'm assuming that he loved her too.
Right. Because
that makes a difference.
Absolutely. But see, that's the point I do want to bring across also. It could be dangerous. Because if you aren't mentally at a point, or if you aren't stable and you haven't got rid of the baggage, there's tons of women, and examples we probably know can lame and all day long, who will do this, leave and go, but never got themselves correct, and never grew themselves, and then they went off, and then something happened then they're left like, oh, I didn't gave everything. What's the one movie where she went? So I gave you 10 years of my life, and he went with the secretary.
Waiting at hell.
Yes,
Yeah.
like she got to that point where she felt like she gave so much, now she ain't got.
So that's a good example.
Very
I'm
good
glad you
example.
brought that up. That's a good example. So okay, so this song kind of translate to that,
Right.
because in that movie she gave up her dreams. She gave up her dreams and goals.
Right.
To help him build his company.
Right.
Yep.
She worked secretary. She did work
All the
accounting.
positions.
All the positions she did so. It had to be that she was an educated woman,
Right.
with a couple of degrees. We would assume,
We would
Right.
assume.
and had her own dreams and goals. We would assume, because I think to meet that type of caliber of a man, you have to be a certain caliber of a woman.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know people think ain't no more levels, but there's levels.
Oh
There's
yeah,
levels.
definitely.
Yeah.
There's levels upon levels.
There's levels. So I know we didn't got all no, just shoot your shot. There's still some levels. So I would assume that her giving up all that because she loved him, and at the time he was showing love to her, that she was willing to give up all her stuff, all her dreams and goals to help him build his company, and helped him build it successfully to where she was now a housewife
Right.
Yep.
Right.
and a stay-at-home mom.
Right.
And to me, she still looked good.
Oh
It was
yeah.
fabulous.
She still, so that means that even with that, she didn't let herself go, which I think is key for women.
Yeah.
Is that you still have to maintain a certain level of attractiveness
Right.
to your mate.
Right.
So she just had the long hair, and she's still stylish. She still, she might didn't go out as much, but she still a thing. But she gave up her world
She did.
to be in his.
Right.
It backfired.
True.
Yeah.
Is that how we kind of see most cases?
Yeah.
We see it a lot.
Or do men need to just compromise and say, hey, I ain't asking you to give up everything about you to be with me. I'm willing to compromise and make it work, that we blend well together.
Well, I think I don't think all men do that.
No.
One.
No.
But I think that's the part
I know they don't.
was personally looking for, was I didn't want to have to give up everything. I don't
Right,
want to have to
right.
be so engrossed in everything that he does. I want to have some stuff for myself, and I think that's a healthy thing. I still need to have because of who I was, and because, like I said, it's been so long, and we've been single, and creating things for ourselves and doing things for ourselves and working towards goals and stuff like that. I can't stop that all of a sudden and just be somebody else. Like, I think I think looking down the line, I've seen women or, older women who have done that, and I don't like the just like Angela Bassett in the movie was, she woke up one day and realized, it's not everything I wanted it to be. But I think maybe if she had some other stuff that she was doing on the side, yes, helping him, but maybe it's something else she was working on, it wouldn't have turned so, not say violent, but, wouldn't have been such a, like, I want to burn everything.
Yeah.
Because she had something else to fall back on.
That's true.
Yeah.
So something to turn her attention to. It's like, oh, well, you know what? Okay. Yeah, yes, I'm hurt. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I did all this for you. Give me my money.
Yeah.
I want that for her because I
Yeah.
helped build it. Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm going to still work towards mine.
Right.
And so, I think there's a balance. I think it comes down to that. I think it comes down to a balance. Yes, I want to support everything he did. I want to support the things that he put forth, his dreams and goals. But at the same time, I still would like to have my own.
Right.
And I don't want to get lost in. I don't want to lose myself in somebody else so completely that I forget that the person I've grown to be through these 30-something years, which I can't remember how old I am right now, but through certain years that,
I believe you're 38.
Yeah, okay, there we go.
2 years apart.
Wait, I'll be 38 coming
October.
Yes,
We're 2
October,
years
yes.
apart.
Okay.
I just turned 36.
All right. So, yes, but, I don't want to, I built who I am, my personality, and all the stuff. I've built that over this period of time, and I don't want to lose that completely just because I met somebody and now we're going down a different train track. You know, I want it to still be something there, and then there's a part of me that grows with the two of us together, and we're working towards something together.
Okay, so let's dab into this. Your dreams and goals are different or can be different than your purpose.
Right.
So you never compromise on your purpose.
Right.
And you never give up your purpose just to be with someone.
Right.
So in this song, what she's saying, I'd rather be in his world than be without him in mine. Could it be that he was a part of her purpose?
Oh, well.
To give up her whole, let's say, man come in, he says, y'all date for a little while, you really into him, it breeds into something serious. 6 months into the relationship, he gets, let's use the military, gets orders to go overseas and wants you to come with him.
Oh, well, I'll be down for that. I'm down for traveling.
But let's just say, so let's just say it's not as easy.
Right.
So you have to give up. You have to move far away from family. And let's say the term is you have to be overseas for 3 to 5 years.
Right.
So you give up your family, you give up your job, you give up friends, because now it's a long distance. Long distance is relationship a beast. So you're giving up all this stuff to be with him. Do y'all think that, one, go back to my original statement, that your purpose can be different than your dreams and goals?
Yeah.
And two, your purpose be intertwined with the man.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I think that's what we want.
So you want your...
That's the spiritual side of that.
Yeah, that is the spiritual side. So that's what I want to lead into, is that you can give up dreams and goals to be with your spouse, but never compromise on your purpose.
Right. Well, I think that's the other thing is sometimes our dreams and goals that we want for ourselves may not be what God wanted for us to begin with.
And
that's true.
And somebody had to kind of help, or maybe he put that person in your life to help direct you down the path that you should have been on. Mm-hmm. He puts people in our lives all the time.
Yeah.
For different purposes. And maybe he had to put that person in there to help you realize, oh, wait, no, I was on the wrong path to begin with.
Right.
This is really what he wants from me. But that comes down to being prayerful and actually seeking, to God for guidance.
Right. So a man, a woman, a spouse can be in line with your purpose.
Yeah. Yes. I think that's the goal, at least for me.
Yeah,
I want that to be the.
Is that y'all share a purpose, or because each of us got our own purpose? We each God gave us our own assignments. We each have our own assignments in life. So is he to complement that, or is he to y'all have the same? It aligns, because complementing and aligning are different. Mm-hmm. Complementing to me is I'm in this lane and you in the lane next to me and we just going, but at some point I might have to turn right, you might have to turn left, but we come back to meet our path to meet.
I got you.
But my purpose may have took me here because I'm, let's say, helping children, and you may be helping elderly. You know what I'm saying?
Right, I got you.
So that's complementing each other. But when it's aligned, it's like when you see, I guess a good example would be husband and wife teams that preach. Mm-hmm. So that's a line that they are aligned together, that they both supposed to preach. Then one is the pastor, one is the co-pastor. Right. It's that type of thing. Or you see them working in business, like a lot. I seen on one of these buses, a husband and wife lawyer team. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's alignment. Like you've aligned yourself in that purpose. Like
fitness.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you see that a lot too. So that's you're aligned in your purpose. So your purpose can be, y'all can align or y'all can complement each other. But is that enough for you to give up on your world? I mean, your world is your dreams and your goals, right?
I think
your aspirations.
I think it can be. So like I said, like you said, going back to what you said, if the price is right, you just might. Yeah, and I think that's find out if the price is really right is the key.
Disclaimer: the price is not always money. In my case, it's money, but it not being money for everyone else.
Well, I mean, I'm saying price, but price could be, like you said, money, or it could be a lot.
Time, it could be family.
Yeah.
The price is high. Your dream and goal is a price. It's a price tag on all of it.
Price you pay.
I was just saying, it's price for me. Mixing with all that family stuff. Ninjas.
I'm going overseas.
Right. I love you, mama. I'll FaceTime you. That's why we have iPhones. That's why we have iPhones. So yeah, I think with the right person when it comes along, I'll tell you this. I don't want to jump the gun. But I do know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. But there's this person, and it has been interesting, and I'm speaking from my personal self about me and this person, interesting what I'm thinking about in terms of just in the beginning stages of dating. A couple of weeks.
Right.
Where I've never been able to see myself long term with nobody.
Right.
And y'all know this.
Right.
So it's scary.
Oh, yeah.
It's very scary because
absolutely.
what if it don't work out? What if it's not this? What if you're not what I think it is? Like a lot of things. But if he said, I got a job in California tomorrow, I want you to come with me, I'd probably go.
Yeah.
And that's scary.
Okay.
Very scary.
Well.
So
it's good to know.
Okay.
You putting this on notice just in case.
Right. Write that down.
Right. Mark this night. So I might have to kill him. I'm just kidding. He may be going next month. Just kidding. It's a Gemini. But on a real tip, like that's why I can say if it's the right person, I can't say I would have thought about that for nobody else. Even with everything I got going on, because even with everything I have going on, it could be done remotely.
Well, in this day and age, a lot of things can be done remotely.
A lot.
It can be done Wi-Fi. We just need Wi-Fi.
Right.
We can't
reliable.
Right.
Look, that's
Wi-Fi.
what the little app asked us. What when you want to be on the island with 3 things? Wi-Fi. I'll be stuck on the island, but Lord, just let me get some Wi-Fi. So I think that's what it is. I think you can, the right person, but also on that same tip, the conversation we've already had. The reason why I can say I would go is because we already aligned on certain topics.
Exactly.
Like saying you want to be and speaking and encouraging. He already mentor people, which is what we do. Like he already does certain things. He's already into business, already entrepreneur. So there's conversations that we've already had in different topics where I could be like, oh, okay. I can see where we could do something together. I always said I wanted to date somebody or eventually be with somebody who wanted to have a presence in like, I don't want to say social media because social media is so crazy, but you see so many people doing things. But if
public platform,
got to because I know that's eventually what I'm doing. So that person gotta have the same personality, same charisma.
That's key.
Yeah.
To be able to be next to me, 1, and 2, to do what I think my purpose and what I want to do, and the spiritual component. Yeah. I think when you start seeing all those things come together, and it's been a long time. Change has come. Through a lot of nuts to get to that point. And I say, disclaimer, if you hear this, look, if you hear this later on, I'm not saying you the one yet. I know you scared of that too, because he's scared of that too. Because people be saying you the one. No, you're not the one. You could be on a short. Trump had a short list of Supreme Court nominees. You on a short list of nominees to be nominated to my heart.
Right.
And I think that's just where it is. And I think that we've already said, depending on the person, depending on the conversation you already had, and where you are in your life. Right. Not even you 21, ladies.
Right. All right.
21, do you gotta do.
Right.
Right.
Your life, travel.
Right.
Do you.
Right. Please do you.
We
do
in a different age group right now.
Right.
Whole different.
Oh, and also thing, I just thought about this. I don't know why I didn't think about this before. My fiance, I didn't want to. He was in New York at the time. Now I know him for a long time. We done since school 20 years. But I wasn't moving to New York. New York wasn't the life that I want. I'm not trying to ride no subway to folk, be around crazy folks. Like I'm just not. It's too much for me. It's too fast paced. That's just not. I mean, yes, I want to live in the city, but I don't want to live in that type of city.
Right.
I don't want to grow up in that place.
Right.
So I said, well, what we gonna do? And he was like, well, I guess you're not moving up here, so I guess I'm moving down there. So he left.
Yep.
Now that didn't stop him from still doing real estate. He still got that. He still working the job. He can do it remotely. And we end up building something down here in Florida. But it could go both. It could go the opposite way also.
Go the opposite way.
Yes.
And you made that very clear that from the beginning you wasn't moving.
So okay,
And you had valid reasons why.
Well, yeah, that's
right.
You just said, "Well, I ain't moving." Like,
Right,
no,
yeah.
it was a well thought out thing,
and it was true.
and he knew from my personality. Okay, yeah, you know what? That's just not part of like. Well, she wouldn't fit in that. She wouldn't. He knew that because of conversations we had. Obviously, like I said, we known each other a long time. So, but like I said, when I started dating, a couple years ago, that was all right. So what we gonna do? How serious you want to take this? Like, yeah, I known you for a long. We've been friends a long time.
That was
but
a question you said kind of early on.
Oh no, that happened in the first couple weeks. That was like, all right, we gonna be serious, like, because that also happened because, like I said, because we have been friends a long time, so we had to have that conversation of switching from we're just being friends,
right,
so we're actually really dating for a purpose,
Right.
And since now we're dating for a purpose,
Right.
We need to talk about some stuff,
Right.
and that was one of the first things that came up was like, listen, I know you up here, but at the same time, the other thing is, his family's down in Florida. Like, there's other things that his son is down here.
Right.
There's other factors that just end up leading. That was the right decision for us. Now, if we had to move somewhere else at this point in time, yes, it'd be something I considered. Like I said, I'm not saying no forever.
Right.
But at that point in time, I was like, not New York.
Right.
So, but yeah, can happen both ways.
Yeah. So I'm the moving part. I think. When it comes back to, this song, The Midnight Train to Georgia, she was willing to go back because I think it was back home for her too.
Oh, true.
So there was comfort, there was familiarity there, it wasn't a big jump for her. Now, and then I think with you, when you start dating for a purpose, then you start making that assessment and you start discussing those things about where we're gonna live, where we're gonna build.
Right.
Well, hopefully you start discussing it.
Right. Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, have the conversations.
Yes.
Because if you don't have the conversations and you make moves just because one person wanted to do it and you were never bought into it, it causes problems later on.
Because people do chase people to different states.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And they move off a whim when that person never even committed to you.
Yep.
And that's a big no-no.
Right.
Big no.
Don't, if someone hasn't committed and
We're
came out
commitment at this point.
a commitment, like it's past we go together. We about to get married, shawty. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we need to move together because this is what we're gonna spend the rest of our life together at. So, and then that's for the single. Now, if you single with kids like me, you have a whole nother
That's a whole nother
element to evaluate and consider when it's talking about moving places.
Right.
Because you got kids, you know what I'm saying?
That's an extra layer.
You know what I'm saying? That's some stuff you gotta research and look out, you know what I'm saying? Because the kids got to be taken care of too.
Got to.
Right.
So,
but like I said, if it's something that if you did find somebody and yes, they did have to move, I think that when he's presenting that idea to you, he will understand you have a son that to consider. Yeah. And I think if he was smart, he would start laying out plans for, listen, I know you have a son. This is my idea about, this and this and how we could, where we could go where it's good schools or where we can go where, he'll still have support or where we could, he'll start bringing those things to you to help ease your mind about it. I think that when you start having those conversations, I think that would ease you into that move a little bit more. At least I would hope it would.
I would hope.
Right.
I hope you're smart, boo.
Right.
Okay.
Whoever you are.
Whoever you are.
Yeah,
I hope
yeah.
you're smart.
Please be smart.
I hope you're smart. Okay. I hope you're smart. Yes. So, ladies, just to wrap this all up and tie it in a bow. I think that, like you said, for the right price, for the right person, for the right, I guess, mission or purpose in life, yes, I'll be willing to give up elements of my world or give up my dreams and goals for the embetterment of us.
Right.
Yeah.
For the embetterment of our family.
Right.
Right.
For the embetterment of generations after us.
Right.
Because we are seriously committed to each other.
Right.
So yes.
The answer is?
The answer is yes. I would, I'd rather be in his world
Yeah.
than live without him in mine.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, guess we answered that.
So y'all agree?
We agree.
Yes. Hey, so I guess Gladys had it right. Glad.
Even after all this time.
And all this time, you said
Still hopping on that midnight train.
right, midnight train because
You listen to this, no pun intended.
right.
Come on, right that train.
Come on, right that day. So we want to thank you all for joining us today. We hope that you enjoyed the conversation. Please access more of our episodes. Enjoy and thank you.
Like and subscribe.
Please, 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 please. So you have been listening to Me, She, and Her podcast, a guided conversation between three friends. Talk to you later.